you're not grounded. You are not grounded in anything, so you take a little of everything. So Jesus' basically response is like, is that your idea or is it someone else's? A prime example, is that your belief or is it someone else's? Is that your conviction or is it someone else's? Did I say that to you or did someone else say that to you? We have to get to a place where we believe that even when the circumstances do not look promising, that God's hand is in it. Well, hold on, because I thought we were in the middle of a conversation because you felt so high and mighty. You felt like your beliefs were so good. You felt like the way you felt like I should have responded was just so important that you felt the need to hit me. But now that I want to have a conversation about it and see where you're coming from and see what the problem is, you just want to send me off? Or you don't want to talk about it now? Jesus was a living example of how we should be living as followers of Christ. And this is a prime example of how when you don't know who you are and whose you are, when you're not grounded in that, when you don't have foundation in that, when you don't have security in who you are and whose you are, you will allow the world to determine for you.
God, you call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah, no longer blinded, I can see.
Hey y'all, hey, it is me, KaRena Lee, and I am back at it again with another video. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is KaRena, and if you're not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for supporting. In today's video, we are doing another Bible study video. If that's something that you were interested in, definitely keep watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so today's Bible study is coming from the book of John. We are actually going to be diving into John chapter 18. I have 3 major points for you guys. So if that's something that you are interested in, then definitely stick around. Let's get into it. So first thing I want to do, when I do Bible study, I personally do the REAP version, which is read, examine, apply, pray. That's how I do my Bible study. I started off with the template, and now I'm more comfortable in just, I don't follow the template to a T, but I follow the template for the most part. So with that being said, I do just want to go ahead and give you guys a summary of John 18, just in case you may not have heard of it before, or maybe, you know, you just need a refresher, whatever it may be. So first things first, let's just go ahead and give you a quick summary of what John 18 is. And this is coming from the day that I did the Bible study. Okay, so summary.
I must say that I realize that my lace is just not lacing in this video, but please don't worry about that because we're here for the word and not the world. Thank you.
That Jesus was guilty, and so the Roman governor basically confessed that. By the end of it, he was like,
so to wrap it all up, in this passage, Judas betrays Jesus, Peter denies Jesus, the officials accuse Jesus, and Jesus trusts God, his Father. Okay, so this passage shows me, in the midst of difficult circumstances, Jesus remained honest, selfless, humble before God, and righteous. Jesus once again shows believers how we should respond during unfortunate or even unfair circumstances. A lot of times we focus so much on Jesus's death and we don't focus on Jesus's life. And I feel like that's such a powerful message that Christians really need to grab a hold of and really just meditate on and pray about and ask God to, like, you know, continuously like put in their heart and on their mind so that it's something that they remember. But we have to understand that, like, Jesus was a living example of how we should be living as followers of Christ. Like, he was a living example. The Bible shows us time and time and time and time and time again how we should respond, how we should react, how we should treat others, how we should love others. Like, Jesus shows us these things on numerous occasions. So I feel like it's so important that we understand and also take the time to appreciate and to value and to cherish and to live out the way Jesus did in the Bible. So that's what this passage shows me, like, about God, about Jesus. So what this passage shows me about, like, man or like human is, even those closest to you will betray you for their own gain. It shows me humans can be selfish by nature. It also shows me people will hate, judge, and convict you based solely on their own beliefs, on their own belief system. Finally, it shows me man will literally be a bandwagoner out of fear of being an outsider. So people will literally jump on the bandwagon. They'll go with the flow. They'll follow the crowd out of fear of missing out, out of fear of being out of fear of not being accepted by the world. So now that the summary is out of the way, as I said, I have 3 major points that I want to talk about in today's video. So let's just hop right into it with point number 1. So point number 1, how you respond to situations that are not favorable to you shows whose you are. To be a kingdom kid is to be in this world and not of this world. Your response is what sets you apart. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is John 18:11. So John chapter 18 verse 11. Okay, and it says, Jesus commanded Peter, "Put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" We're just gonna do all the verses and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more, okay? So that's John 18:11, okay? Now John 18:23. Sorry, this glare, I can't see, so we're gonna have to. John 18:23 says, after the official slaps Jesus, Jesus replies, "If I said something wrong," Jesus replied, "testify as to what is wrong. But if I spoke the truth, why did you strike me?" Okay? And then John 18:36. John 18:36 says, Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." So to wrap all those things up, to make a long story very short, it's human nature to fight when faced with challenges, when faced with injustice, and when faced with uncertainty, right? Like, it's just human nature. We go back to 11 and it's like, Peter was on go mode. He's ready to fight. They're trying to come and they're trying to take Jesus. They're trying to arrest Jesus. He knows that Jesus did nothing wrong, and Peter's ready to cut him. He's ready to fight. He's ready to go. He's on go mode, period, right? And even so, we see in John 18:23 that after Jesus gets slapped in the face for simply responding, now was he a little smart? Yeah, he was. But he gets slapped for responding to something. And his response is, if I did something wrong, tell me what I did wrong. Like, what did I say that was wrong? But if you can't tell me what I did was wrong, what I said was wrong, then why are you hitting me? Why are you slapping me? Rather than knocking him out, giving him a cold 2-piece, rather than cussing him out, rather than telling him about his mama, you feel what I'm saying? Like, rather than going the human route, Jesus goes the God route, his Father's route. He responds with grace and with truth. Yeah. And then to end it off in 36, Jesus literally says, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders." He's literally saying he stopped Peter from trying to fight to get him arrested because he does not want his people to fight. He doesn't want our natural human response to be the response. He doesn't want that for us. He doesn't want that response for us. He doesn't want that for the world. That way of response is not kingdom way. So it's kingdom nature to trust God's hand is present in every situation, even those which don't look favorable for you. And I feel like Jesus shows us that when he says in 11 again, or is it 11? Yeah, in 11, he says, "Put your sword down. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me? Even Jesus the Son who knows he has power, who knows that his name carries weight, who knows that he's in a position to make a change, to not be in this situation, he humbles himself before his Father because he realizes, if this is where I'm at, if this is the season that I'm in, if this is the situation that I'm in, no matter how unfair it looks, no matter how unfortunate it looks, no matter how much I feel like woe is me, no matter how much I feel like, God, why is this happening to me? He understands that it's not happening to him, it's happening for him. We have to get to a place where we believe that even when the circumstances do not look promising, that God's hand is in it, that God's not left us, that God's not forsaken us, that God's not forgotten us, that what the enemy means for evil, God will always work out for our good, for his glory. That doesn't always mean that you're gonna like how it goes. That doesn't always mean that you're gonna like the situation that you're in. That doesn't always mean that you're going to like the outcome, but it does mean that it will work out for God's glory. Point number 2, major point number 2. People will do their very best to punish or shame you for their beliefs. So you need to stand firm in yours despite potential abuse. Okay? First verse, John 18:14, which says, Sapphires, y'all know these names in the Bible. Just don't even be, come on, just bear with me. Caiaphas, we will go with Caiaphas. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jewish leaders that it would be good if one man died for the people. All right, that's John 18:14. Now John 18:22-24 says, when Jesus said this, one of the officials nearby slapped him in the face. Is this the way you answered the high priest? He demanded. If I said something wrong, Jesus replied, testify as to what is wrong. But if I spoke the truth, why did you strike me? Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but let me just say, can we just take a moment to briefly notice how Jesus said, if I said or did something wrong, let me know. Tell me what it was. But if I didn't, why did you hit me? And rather than responding, homeboy just sent him to the next person. Cowardly behavior. You know you're wrong. You know what you did was wrong. You know your behavior was wrong. You know your response was wrong. But you're going to ignore me and just push me off to the next. You're going to avoid the situation. You're going to avoid what you did wrong. Okay. Anywho. Oh, I literally said even when people know they're wrong, they stand firm in their wrong. Long and wrong. Strong and wrong. Just wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay. Now John 18:31. John 18:31 says, Pilate said, take him yourself and judge him by your own law. But we have no right to execute anyone, they objected. And this is the officials. So Pilate, I think he's like the governor or the high priest, something like that. And then, so he's the one who's saying, y'all take him, y'all judge him based off y'all's law, because I don't see nothing wrong here. I ain't find that the man did nothing. Like, y'all don't have no proof. Like, what's really going on? Y'all take him and y'all do it, because I don't want the dirt on my hands, is what the vibes I'm getting, right? So then they respond and they object like, no, we don't have the right to execute anybody. So you know. Okay. Anyways, and then John 18:38-40, which says, what is truth? Retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, I found no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews? They shouted back, no, not him. Give us Barabbas. So first things first, like I said, John 18:14, Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jewish leaders that it would be good if one man died for the people. Whose belief is that? Caiaphas's. Caiaphas convinced everybody else that it would be a good idea for Jesus to die for everybody else. I mean, although we already know that was God's plan. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Caiaphas convincing worldly people that it would be right for Jesus to die for everybody else's sins. And if you read back in John, a couple chapters before, they literally basically, having a little meeting, a little shindig or whatever, a little conference. And Caiaphas is basically telling everybody oh no, yeah, we should kill Jesus. We should just kill him and he can just, where's this coming from? And that be the problem with us sometimes, is we get into spaces and we get into rooms and we just be taking everybody else's word for it. What's your beliefs? What's your opinions? What's right to you? Don't be a bandwagoner because you want to stick in with the crowd. Like, kingdom kids aren't bandwagoners. Okay, so with John 18:22-24, I just want to give you a little bit of context for the backstory because I just keep reading that part. So basically, the high priest is questioning Jesus, right? And he's like, what's the problem here? Like, what's going on? So listen, this is what it say. We're going to start at 19. It says, meanwhile, the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and his teaching. I have spoken openly to the world, Jesus replied. I always taught in synagogues or at the temple where all the Jews come together. I said nothing in secret. Why question me? Ask those who heard me. Surely they know what I said. Now this is why I was like, oh, well, Jesus did get a little bit smart. You feel like he did? You know, he came back with a little, he basically was like, what did you asking me? Public knowledge. Like, this is public information. You could look this up. You could ask, you could phone a friend. Like, nothing about this is secrecy. So why are you questioning me? Right? That's what it was given. When he said this, one of the officials nearby slapped him in the face. Is this the way you answer the high priest? He demanded. Here's the thing. Here's what I want us to see in this. The official's belief is that there was a specific way to respond to the high priest. That's why Jesus got slapped. Because the official felt like the way Jesus responded was not up to his standards, was not up to his par. That's his belief. You see again? People will try and shame you, will try to hurt you for their beliefs. And you need to stand firm in yours because, like I said, how did Jesus respond? With grace and with truth. By saying, well, hold on. If there's a problem, if something I said is wrong, then please let me know what it was. But if there's no problem, then why are you hitting me? Because Jesus stood 10 toes down. I said what I said, but what I said is the truth. What I said is honest. So why are you trying to pull me down? Why are you trying to belittle me? Why are you trying to beat me down? If what I said is not actually wrong. And like I said, it literally goes on to say, he sent him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest. Well, hold on, because I thought we were in the middle of a conversation because you felt so high and mighty. You felt like your beliefs were so good. You felt like the way you felt like I should have responded was just so important that you felt the need to hit me. But now that I want to have a conversation about it and see where you're coming from and see what the problem is, you just want to send me off? Or you don't want to talk about it now? Yeah. Because when you stand 10 toes down in what you believe, when you stand 10 toes down in your faith, when you stand 10 toes down in what God has told you and the vision that God has given you, people don't want to talk no more. All of a sudden, you don't want to talk. You want it to be a back and forth challenge as long as you are getting the long end of the stick. But if you get the short end of the stick, when you have nothing else to say, when you don't know how to defend yourself, when you don't know why you're even believing the things that you believe that you're trying to challenge me on, now you don't want to talk about it no more. Stand 10 toes down on the things that you believe. Our third and final major theme from John 18 is when you don't know who you are and whose you are, you'll allow worldly people and situations to determine it for you. Let me say it again. When you don't know who you are and whose you are, when you don't know who you are, when you don't know that you are a child of God, when you don't know your likes, when you don't know your dislikes, when you don't know your beliefs and why you believe them, when you don't know that you are a child of God, that you were made in his image, that you were the tongue and... Wait, what is it? See, look, when you don't know, you allow the world, literally, this is, I'm not even gonna cut this. When you do not know who you are and whose you are, you will allow the world to determine that for you. And to piggyback off of that, you'll become something God never intended for you to be, trying to please the world rather than the word. You will become something that God never intended for you to be, that God never intended for you to be, trying to please the world instead of the word. Scripture, let's go. John 18:34-35. A lot of these have come up more than once, obviously, but we're only going off one chapter, and this is also to show you that there are so many messages in one chapter. Okay, so John 18:34-35. It says, "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, "or did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" Okay, that's John 18:34-35. Okay, let's go John 18:38. which says, "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him." John 18:33. Okay? Says, Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And then John 18:25-26, because really we clearly just bounce it around. 25-26. It says, "Meanwhile, Simon Peter was still standing there warming himself. So they asked him, 'You aren't one of his disciples too, are you?' He denied it, saying, 'I am not.' One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him. 'Didn't I see you with him in the garden?' Like, didn't you just cut my ear off?" But anywho. Okay, so just to run it back just a little bit. In John 18:33, Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, "or did others talk to you about me?" Let's just pause right there. Because there's so many we should know this by now. There are so many teaching lessons in the Bible. And again, Jesus is showing us how to handle situations, how to respond, how to live a godly life, how to live a holy life, how to live a Christian life. Anyways, so listen, at this point, Pilate don't know what the problem is. He don't know what Jesus done. He don't even really feel like Jesus did nothing, to be honest. Which is why he keep doing this back and forth. He's trying to get answers out of Jesus, but Jesus really not giving him answers. Like, Jesus is responding without giving actual answers. Like, that's really what's going on. So Pilate going back outside, like, what did he do? Like, trying to hear, why did the officials bring him to me? And like, what's really the problem here? Like, I don't understand what's going on. This man don't even want to defend himself. Y'all done brought him here, and where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Because I can't just be killing people just to kill people. So what's going on? Okay, so Jesus' basically response is like, is that your idea or is it someone else's? A prime example, is that your belief or is it someone else's? Is that your conviction or is it someone else's? Did I say that to you or did someone else say that to you? What are your beliefs? When you don't know whose you are and who you are, you will allow the world to do that for you. Did you see that on TikTok or did you hear that during this Bible study? Did you see that on a YouTube video, or did you hear that when you spent time meditating on my word? When you spent time fasting? Is this your belief or is this someone else's? Let's figure these things out. And even still, Pilate responds, "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied, "Your own people and chief priest handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" This man don't even know what's going on. He's like, "Jesus, what are you asking me?" Basically, like, am I a Jew? Like, is it my idea? Like, what are you talking about? Like, these people brought you in here and I'm actually just trying to figure out like why and like what's tea. Like I told y'all, in John 18:36, Jesus basically was like, kingdom kids don't act a fool. Right? He said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders." Like, basically, we don't even get down like that. We don't behave like that. We don't act like that. We don't move like that. That's not how we move, right? Pilate is like, "You are a king then." Jesus says, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." Again, Jesus is literally responding without responding, because if there's one thing that Jesus is going to do, he's going to make you think for yourself. He's going to make you think for yourself. Know who you are, know your belief, know whose you are and why. The man literally said, "You say that I am king." He didn't say, "Yes, I'm king." He didn't say, "Yeah, that's me." He didn't say, he didn't say, "Yeah, son of God, you got it. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer." Like, he didn't do none of that. He said, "You say I'm the king." Well, yeah, I did just say that. Like, why are you saying that, Jesus? Like, I just said, so you are a king. He said, "I'm not going to confirm or deny. I'm just going to tell you that you said it. You said I'm the king." Whereas if we jump back before, he said, "Is that your idea or was you talking to me about somebody?" Know it for yourself. Know it for yourself. It's very clear. Know who you are, know whose you are, and know why. Because you're going to get challenged. And shoot, even Jesus is in here challenging. Okay? And he says, In the fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me. He did not confirm nor deny that he was a king. He just said, actually, I came here, I was born into the world to testify the truth. So anybody who listens to truth, they listen to me. How does Pilate respond? Pilate says, "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. Clearly the man wants to know. He has a desire. He's seeking, right? But hold on a minute. With this, he went out again to the Jews, gathered there and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him." He literally has decided, listen, he ain't did nothing, y'all. He hasn't done nothing. And I honestly feel like Pilate knew in his heart. I feel like he felt convicted. I feel like he believed Jesus was who he said he was. He know about them teachings. He done heard about them teachings. That's why a little further up, Jesus is like, it ain't no secret what I've been teaching about. I've been all up in, to make it, everyday language. I literally been on the news. I've been in the conference rooms. Like, it's been highly publicized. I've been doing it on social media. Like, ain't nothing I said been a secret. Everything that I've said to these people, everybody know. You can ask anybody and they'll tell you what I said. So I feel like Pilate already know what's going on. He already know what type of time Jesus is on. He already know how Jesus moves. And which is why he like, why is y'all bring this man here? Because I think he believed it anyway. I feel like he believed it anyway. He already didn't believe it. And trying to get Jesus to confirm something that he knows. You already know. And Jesus is saying, is it your idea or is it somebody else's? Do you know or do you not? Did I tell you or no? I'm not going to give you the answer that you have. Because he already did that. I already been preaching about this stuff. I already been telling you the truth. You already know what it is. Where's the confusion? With that, I just want to dive into this last chapter a little bit more. So he basically like, I find no basis for the charges against him. Like the dude ain't did nothing. Like he's done nothing wrong. He says, but it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews? They shouted back, no, not him. Give us Barabbas. Now, Barabbas had taken part in an uprising. And this is a prime example of how when you don't know who you are and whose you are, when you're not grounded in that, when you don't have foundation in that, when you don't have security in who you are and whose you are, you will allow the world to determine for you. Because if you have already decided, and honestly, I think the man said about 3-4 times. Let's see real quick. Because I was reading it like, okay, so like, why are we going back and forth? What's up with the back and forth? Because when you're insecure, when you're unsure, you are wishy-washy. You're a floater. You don't know where, you're not grounded. You are not grounded in anything, so you take a little of everything. That's the problem. How you're the king and you don't know what's going on? How you're the high priest and you don't have any security in your own decisions? Why are you going back and forth with people below you when you're in charge? When you call the shots? When you decide? Why are we doing this back and forth? Why? Because you're uncertain. Because you're unsure. Because you're not secure. Okay, so John 18:29, it says, so Pilate came out to them and asked, what charges are you bringing against this man? If he were not a criminal, they replied, we would not have handed him over to you. First of all, that's not a response. I said, what charges are you bringing against him? And you're telling me, well, if he wasn't a criminal, we wouldn't have brought him. What are the charges? Pilate said, take him yourself and judge him by your own law. Now, what would possess you to say, y'all handle this yourselves under your own law, if you thought he was guilty? So this is the first time that you're clearly showing that you don't believe what they believe, right? But you're not standing on it. You just wishy-washy. You're like, oh, well, let's talk about it. Like, well, and there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with someone about their beliefs, about why they believe what they believe. I believe that we should all be open-minded. We should be transparent, and we should be willing to hear other people's perspectives. But the point is, when you don't know who you are and whose you are, you will allow the world to decide for you. I'm hoping we're getting this because I've said it multiple times, okay? And then it says, Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, are you the king of the Jews? Why are we going back and forth? Now, why are you asking me questions? Because you've already shown. Jesus obviously don't know, although Jesus knows everything. You've already shown that you don't believe what these people, like, you don't even know why they brought me here. So why are you coming back to me to ask me, am I the king of the Jews? Why are you wasting time? Why are we doing the back and forth? And then, like I said, when Jesus asked him, is this your own idea or you been out there talking to people? Because you know Jesus know everything that's going on. He know, like that's why I did this. Jesus know you went out there and was talking to people trying to figure out what's going on. Which is why he like, was you talking to them people about me or do you have your own beliefs? Can you decide for yourself? Because you was just out there basically showing that you don't believe that they have going on. But you didn't come up in here to ask me another question because you're looking for answers in all the wrong places. And the Pilate was like, am I a Jew? Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it that you have done? You know he ain't did nothing. Like that's why you fishing for answers, you fishing for responses. And that's actually making a lot of sense why Jesus is not responding. Because Jesus knows you already believe that he didn't do nothing. You're looking for answers that aren't even there. You're looking for answers that are not even there. They're not there because they're not true. Because you don't believe them anyway. Stop trying to believe what other people believe. We just gonna wrap it up. Because I could really go all day, and I know that y'all can tell. I could really go all day. Know who you are and know whose you are. Because you will allow the world to decide for you. And you will end up becoming something that God never intended for you to be. Trying to fulfill the world's needs and not the word's needs. Getting your word, getting your Bible back, getting your time with God, getting your isolation season, get in your biblical principles, your biblical foundation, understand why you believe, what you believe, whose you are, and who you are, so that when you are faced with situations where other people believe something else, where other people are trying to shame you, guilt you, or beat you down for the things that you believe, for the way that you move, that you understand that you are grounded in what you believe, that you have foundation. God is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. When everything around me is shaken, I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, because he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail me now? He won't. I'm gonna link that song for y'all, because firm foundation all day, every day. Have a firm foundation in God, in what you believe and why you believe it. So that when situations happen or you want to get out of character, you remember, kingdom kids don't respond in that way. So that when people try to shame you and break you down for their beliefs, you remember, kingdom kids, they know who they are. That's good. That's good. I just blessed myself, and I read this a month ago. Ooh, hallelujah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. If you guys made it this far in the video, I definitely appreciate you for watching. If any part of this video, I can't even talk. If any part of this video was helpful for you, please comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your beliefs, because like I said, being open-minded is not the problem, but I have firm foundation in what I believe. That doesn't mean my mind can't be changed, or perspectives that are new can't be, addressed and talked about, but it means I believe what I believe for the time being. So yeah, anyways, comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. If there's a part of this that blessed you, if there's a part of this that you have a question about, if there's a part of this that maybe you don't believe, whatever the case may be, please comment down below. I definitely want to get into community with you guys and talk with you guys. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely check out some of my other videos. You might like them as well. You probably will. If you do, definitely subscribe to my channel. Turn on that bell notification so you're notified every time I post another video. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.